Welcome back. My name is Jay Yosef. I teach, mentor, and coach people on public speaking so that they can get winning high stakes speeches, whether it's for a job interview, business meeting, or at a conference in front of a large audience. Today, I'm going to give you a job interview tip, but it's more of an experience. When you're interviewing for a job, you should have a good experience. I don't mean you should get a job, but you should have a good experience. I'm going to share you a bad experience that I had with IBM. Now, I wrote a blog about this a while back, and I got some terrible comments from people who have worked probably at IBM. And IBM is a huge company, but this is an example of a bad experience. And then I'll compare with another company that's pretty big where I had a good experience. What I'm saying is that when you interact with a company, your experience should be good no matter at what level. I'm not saying that you will get everything you want, but at least the experience should be good. So I had a really a tough interview with IBM. I had to prepare for 2 weeks, and I had to come in and do a chalk talk and give a presentation. So that required me to spend a lot of time. Went through the interview. At the end of the interview, I thought they would give me a form to fill out where I can get my expenses reimbursed. Wasn't that much, about 40 some dollars. I took the train, then I had to get lunch. So it was essentially a $40 expense. I wasn't getting any kind of form. So at the end of the interview, as we were about to leave, I asked, and there were two managers, by the way, who were sitting there, and uh, I said, how do I get reimbursed for this, for my trip? And both managers started looking at each other like, what is this guy asking? Like, reimbursement? And he said, we don't reimburse candidates. And I said, why? And the manager said, oh, we're just not that generous. And I was kind of taken back. And I said, being generous? You're IBM. You're the one who called me to come for this interview. The least you can do is reimburse me for $42 for the expense that I incurred. And at that point, I decided this is not the company I want to work for. Because if they can't empower the people and provide good experience, I'm not saying they have to give me a job, but that experience should be, oh, I'm sorry, here's the form. Just send it to me and we'll take care of it. And also we'll let you know. And these managers were bad, but it also reflects on the company as far as I'm concerned. It reflects on the CEO, by the way, that they didn't even reply to me after my interview. So not only they didn't reimburse me, but they didn't even bother even replying whether I even got the job or didn't get the job. So that also ticked me off. Now let me give you another example. Nordstrom. I had purchased a belt more than 18 months ago, and the belt buckle broke. And I called them up and spoke to one of the associates and said, look, I bought a belt, which was kind of expensive. It was over like $70. I liked the belt. I said, what do I do? I didn't expect the belt to just break like that. Is there a way I can come in and exchange it? And he said, well, come on in, talk to this manager, Nicole, and she'll take care of you. Next morning, I went there. One of the associates was there. I said, I'm here to see Nicole because I have a problem with my belt. I want to find out if there's any way she can take care of this problem. Nicole comes, looks at the belt, said, here, no problem. Let's replace it. Took care of my problem. Had a good experience. I was happy. She was empowered. And I was asking myself, wait a second. Here, these people at the front line were empowered to solve my problem. All I was asking IBM was, hey, I came to see you guys at your invitation. You can't reimburse me $42 for that? It sends a message that they didn't care about the experience I had. And I tell people, experience is very important. And I had a terrible experience with IBM. And if you work for IBM, I'm sorry, but you can't have bad experience at any level. That's what a big company is, that you got to empower the people. And one of the first thing you teach them is when you deal with people, whether you're interviewing them or customers, they have to have a good experience. and IBM didn't give a damn. And to this day, I keep giving people this example, and that's my experience. And I'm not going to remain quiet about this because you cannot afford to provide bad experience today. And I would never interview with IBM from that experience. So my point to you is that when you interview with a company, they don't they're not obligated to give you a job, but they are obligated to provide you a good experience. That means if you incur cost to go visit them, they should reimburse you for that, unless you're both meeting at a neutral place and it's an unofficial. But if it's an official interview where you're going to their site, they have to reimburse you for not for your time, but for the expenses that you incur. Okay, so the main thing I want to point out is that a job interview has to be viewed as a good experience. And if the experience is not good, you should not pursue that job because it'll just get worse. Let me know what you think, and thank you for watching, and good luck.